um, yeah, but I looked around, I looked at properties, and they were like, in the millions. Well, I don't have millions, and I didn't want to go into huge amounts of debt. Anyway, I'd read somewhere that if you're wanting to build, say, a big department store, but you've only got the means for a peanut stand, start with the peanut stand. So I thought, all right, this group of mine is my peanut stand. And we grew large enough to grow out of Jill's living room. And one of the people coming to our classes, to our Unity gatherings, was a yoga teacher. And so we started to hold our Unity sessions in the yoga center, in her yoga center. And it was, it was really interesting. It was in a terrible state. The carpet was musty and threadbare. The room that we held our gatherings in, the paint was peeling off the walls. It was like, oh, okay. So this wasn't quite my image of this wonderful center. But again, it was like, well, what do? You look after what you have. So Jill had been around Unity for 45 years, longer than I have. So she knew, and she was on the committee of this yoga center. So she knew you have to look after what you've got, right? Even if it seems in a bad state, you start to paint the walls, clean the windows, take down the curtains, get them cleaned. And so she instigated a lot of cleanup stuff. And the old villa, which it was, started to feel better. It started to like glow a bit. You'd open the door and it would feel like, this is nice. And still, I didn't know where this center of mine was going to come from, but we carried on. So then 3 years ago, the yoga center was thinking, well, actually contemplating whether they'd have to close down altogether because their financial situation was so bad. So they were in dire straits. And Jill, at one of their committee meetings, said, what we need is a philanthropist, someone who will bail us out. And it was one of those toss away lines in a sense, but it seeded an idea in the chairman's mind because his brother was a property developer. He'd just sold his business and wanted to build an eco-village. So suddenly looks like a solution for the yoga center, that they could use the land they've got and start to build an eco-village there. And so first of all, I'm thinking, this is great for the yoga center. Good on them. Good on the yoga center. This is, this will work for them. Didn't look like it was anything to do with my dream. And so a year went by, and we'd get progress reports. They drew up plans, and there would be discussions about how it might look and all that stuff. And then suddenly it was like, I'm looking at this, it's got a plan. In the plans is this brand new, beautiful, well, it was only a drawing at that stage, but a big center. And it's on 3 levels. You go in the first level, you go up in the lift or up the stairs. And on the first floor, there's a room that can be for Thai massage, and there's another room that can be for something else. And there's a reading room and a big book room. I was like, oh, this is starting to look good. And then up above that, there's a big yoga room, and a big, next to that, a cafe kitchen area. I'm thinking, this starts to look like a whole lot of the things that had been in my dream. And so what could we do? Do what you can with what you have from where you are. The commitment at that stage was to put down $2,000 and say, yeah, I'm in. So we had that. We said, yeah, we're in. And so this last year, we had the opening of the brand new centre. Let me show you what it looks like. Pretty beautiful. So LEV, Lotus Eco Village Community House. And that's our car there. So that's where we hold our unity gatherings now. So it was, and so everybody who has committed to coming is contributing to this beautiful centre. So it was like, so you don't have to do this all by yourself. And in fact, this is a coming together of three visions. The yoga center, the guy who was the yoga master, who originally bought the land, he always wanted some kind of community around him. So he wanted, people to be there, to be living on the property. So now we've got 25 houses being built. The first 4 have been built, and the one that John and I will be moving into in March is almost complete. So it's like, so he had a vision of some community there. I had this vision of a centre. There it is, it's already in existence. And the property developer guy wanted to build an eco village, and he's already living on the property. His house is finished, so he uses his house as a kind of show home. So it's all happening. Do what you can with what you have from where you are. With God, all things are possible. Because it's in that place, isn't it, of going, you're not doing this alone. The dream, we sometimes think it's our personal effort that makes things happen. In that daily word, it's about using the imagination, using our zeal, using the strength, the perseverance. And it's also taking action, like that 2 Corinthians letter. Do what you can with the means that you have. So it doesn't matter how big the dream is. Sometimes people, have this big dream, and spirit is always for moving forward, right? It's always for urging us forward, urging in more. That feeling of, no, there must be more. It is always urging us on. Sometimes, we get this great image, but because we don't see it coming into manifestation on our first efforts, or it seems to be taking too long, we sometimes bring it down. And I think it's important to remember, if we think about the Fillmores, when they had this dream of unity, of having a village, having a campus, a worldwide campus where people could come and learn these teachings, that first 5 years grew very slowly. And Charles almost threw it in. Did you know that? He almost threw it in and went back to real estate. It was Myrtle who said, no, I think we're on the right track. We should keep going. So easy to get discouraged, isn't it? And we've got all those, as Bill said, you've had all those 12 cows. What do we use when we're feeling discouraged? Well, we won't go into those. I promised I wouldn't, so I won't. But, we know we have within us, we have the power within us. Paul Hasselbeck, the other Paul that we refer to, he put out the absolute word. Do some of you get his absolute word? So he takes the daily word and what he would call amps it up. So he wrote for this one for today, I zealously, imagine that for a word. I zealously turn my dreams into reality. So join me in zealously turning your dreams into reality. God bless. Thank you.
Wow, Ros, that was just what I think we all needed today. Just those basic tools, but we have to keep on keeping on. And you've totally upset me now, because how do I say that phrase by Charles Fillmore? Zeal. He uses the word zeal in one of those affirmations. Now I have to replace it. What is it?
So it's the Paul Hasselbeck version.
Yes,
I zealously. So zeal, then with a Litiously. I zealously turn my dreams into reality.
and just remembering the old Charles one, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm. Zelicious. So we'll find ourselves using that word from now on, I feel. So it seems to have a ring to it, doesn't it? Ros, thanks again. That was amazing. And your dream inspired us as we continue our dreams as well. So thank you. And Rath is going to share a song with us, which I